Guys, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Tyler, and behind me we are filling up the sandstorm because we're about to head over to Arkansas to camp with Johnny from Zach Outdoors. It's kind of noisy here because everybody's getting off work on Friday. Everybody's filling up for the weekend, for Father's Day weekend, but we're about to head over there and camp. Once we get there, I'll show you the setup that I came up with to camp in the back of the Bronco. And for those of you who are wondering and are here for the canyon content, it's still here. We are taking it next. I was just giving it a break, kind of learning the Bronco, the ins and outs of it, off-roading it, camping with it, something different, something new, so breaking it in. But the canyon will be back. It will still be off-roaded, and it will still be camped out of. So don't worry, don't go anywhere. It's still here to stay. But anyways, I will see you guys when we get to camp. We made it to the campsite. I beat Johnny here. Johnny should be showing up pretty soon. The campfire pit is behind us. So I bought some wood, gonna throw some wood in there, and then it looks like there's a stack of wood over there. It's soaked. That's why I bought some dry stuff. But it's a little muddy out here. As you can see, the Bronco's a little muddy. The ground's a little bit muddy. That's why, for those of you asking why I haven't been taking the canyon out, well, it's been raining like crazy. Everything's muddy. Now that I have the Bronco, I can take advantage of having an SUV and sleeping in the cab and not really having to worry about setting up a tent, getting it soaked and breaking it down, and then getting home and setting it up to let it dry out. So that's why I've been using the Bronco a lot lately, and because it's new and it's fun. But anyways, I was going to give a shout out to Kane Footwear. If you guys are looking for good camping shoes, these are advertised as recovery shoes for working out and stuff, but they're rubber and they come in handy for camping. So when it's muddy and stuff, you can go home, rinse these off, clean them, or if you want to go out to the river's right there, and swim, you take your socks off and you can wear these shoes out to the river and they dry pretty quick. So but anyways, let's go ahead and kind of set the Bronco up for the night to where it's going to sleep, and then I'll show you what the inside of it looks like, how I'm going to sleep tonight. Okay, so this is what I'm working with. We've got the Iceco fridge right here, and it's plugged into the battery bank. We've got some liquid IVs just in case it gets a little too hot and stay hydrated. Extra bottles of water. But this is plugged in, keeping everything cold. I've got hot dogs, waters, everything like that. And then I had a cot laying around in my closet, so I decided to give it a try. When I first put it in here, it has 3 sections of legs. So it's got a leg here, a section of legs in the middle, and then one on the front. So I had them all on, and it had it sitting tilted super bad. It would have been super uncomfortable. Gave up on it, went inside, sat in the house for like 20 minutes, and then had an epiphany. Take the front legs off, and it's completely leveled out now, so I don't have to worry about the hump between the seat and the actual trunk. So pretty stoked about this. Super easy to crawl in there. And then I have a battery powered fan that I'll be using, and I'll link that below. That thing is awesome. I've used it on 2 trips now, and it still has not lost a quarter of a battery. That thing will go all night on high, so looking forward to that. And then we'll see how it does. It's a little humid out, so we'll see how this is enclosed. I had an idea of kind of cracking this open and putting the fan in front of this to get cold air. So we'll see how that goes. But this is the campsite. Pretty secluded out here. And then we've got the river just right there. If it's not moving too fast, might take a swim. I don't know yet. We'll see how fast it's moving. But stay tuned for updates throughout the night. And then in the morning, we're hitting some trails in the Bronco, testing out the, pre-running the route that I have planned for my event in October. And I'll link that below if you guys want to check that out. That one will be the Sandworm Fiddle Run. That one will be named after the canyon. And then I am working on another event called Sandstorm Ridge Run, which is going to be named after the Bronco, and it's at a different location, and that one's going to be a little bit different. So keep your eyes out for that. Check out my website, subscribe so you can get email updates on these events and everything. So, but anyways, I'm gonna kind of get situated, check out the river, and yeah, I'll check in. Okay, that's just painful. I'm not doing that because I'm terrible at it and the fire's going anyways. All right, guys, so we finally got the fire going. Don't make fun of me for my kindling. That's like the first time I've ever tried to do that. I need a sharper knife, I think. But anyways, got the fire going to kind of keep the mosquitoes away with the smoke. I've got some bug spray too. But also needed to cook hot dogs. And when Johnny gets here, he usually makes fun of me for bringing hot dogs. I mean, what else do you cook when you're camping? I just assumed hot dogs are the way to go. I did hear a vehicle a minute ago. Hopefully that's him. I'm not sure. I'm usually always the first one to show up to camp though, but it sounded like a 4Runner. I'm not 100% sure. We'll see if he gets stuck in the mud or not. I don't think he will. I made it through with no problems. But yeah, we'll check back in once he arrives, and then we'll go from there, see what else happens tonight. And then I'm super stoked to hit the trails tomorrow. But make sure you like and subscribe, and I'll check back in when Johnny arrives. All right, guys, so we just crawled into the Bronco. Luckily it cooled down tonight, so it's not too hot, but it actually feels pretty comfortable in here, I'm not gonna lie. Johnny hasn't showed up yet, so I'm crawling in here because I guess I'm afraid of the dark when I'm by myself. This is my first time being out here at night by myself with not even my dogs with me, so it's odd. So I'm crawling in the Bronco, watching some Spider-Man until Johnny shows up. But yeah, guess I'm afraid of the dark. Anyways, I'll check back in a minute. Look who finally decided to show up. It's Johnny. It is 10:30. He told me he'd be here at like 7 the latest. Look at this dude. Now I gotta get up and see if the fire started. We've been watching Spider-Man for the last 2 hours. Pretty comfortable in this Bronco, I have to say. And now I can face my fears of the dark now that somebody's out here with me. All right, guys, we just woke up. It's about 8:30. One thing I noticed about sleeping in here is I probably need something a little more thick, like probably like a 3-inch mattress or something, and I think we'll be golden. But we're gonna hop out of the truck, hop out of the Bronco, pick some stuff up, and then head out to the trails. Johnny's packing up his rig, but while he's doing that, I wanted to come down here and kind of just admire the river. Got a lot of rain the past couple weeks, so the river's really flowing. We were gonna swim, but way too high and moving way too fast. So, but the water sounds are nice, and then the morning birds, super beautiful out here. Before I get all packed up, I just wanted to show you guys, this is the brand of the fan, and I'll drop it below. I have not charged this thing for 2 campouts. I had it on low the first camp, that 25%, and it went through the whole night. And then this time I had it on high all night, and it made it all the way to 7:30 this morning, which was about the time I was gonna wake up anyways. So if you're looking for a good, reliable fan to keep you cool in the tent, or at least get some airflow, this one's great. And it also has a light function on it. It's dead now, so I can't show you. And then you can charge your phone out of it too. So the battery lasts super long. I'll link this below. Little shout out to, I don't know how to say that, but that brand right there. All right, guys, we just finished up breakfast here at the Ozarks Cafe, not Orc Cafe, Ozarks. Some of you made fun of me last time. Finished up breakfast. We're gonna go check out the camp spot where we're gonna do the Sandworms Fiddle Run. And then we're gonna hit the trail route that I have planned for that event, just to make sure everything's good and clear, make sure we don't need to make any changes. But we'll check back in once we get to the campsite and start trailing. Okay, so right now we are headed to the trail to check out what it's like. Make sure it's all good for everybody for my upcoming event. Make sure nothing crazy, because not everybody's gonna wanna do crazy trails. But the campsite's pretty cool. We just checked that out. I forgot to show it. I'll show it when we get back. We're camping there tonight. But anyways, enjoy the footage, and we've got the GoPro rolling, so I'll check back in once we, hit our first obstacle or something. So we're double checking this route, just seeing how it's going, and it's all clear so far. There's a little bit of road.
She's sitting there just waiting for you to respond.
A little bit of road, a little bit of gravel road, and then there's some parts that are actual trails. So we're just kind of checking it out, making sure we don't need to change up the route at all.
Turning right up here.
I wanted to point out that if you have a Bronco, you can get one of these magnetic clips, and if you have a hardtop, it magnetizes straight to that. So my radio sits right there now. I've always been looking for a good spot to really put my radio, and now I have one in the Bronco. I just need to figure out a solution for the Canyon, because I was using a vent mount, and you hit bumps and it just falls out. It didn't really work. So but that's a solution if you have a Bronco, maybe even a Jeep. I don't know how the Jeep roofs are, if there's magnetic pieces in it or what, but that works. Anyways, check back in when we get to some cool obstacles.
Cow barn.
There is.
Cows outside.
We got us a cow. Anyways, check back in when we get to an obstacle. We hit our first and probably only obstacle. It started raining and we both only have one shirt left, so keeping those dry in the vehicles. But I've got a handsaw here and a hatchet. Johnny's working on the hatchet and I'm trying to handsaw this big tree so we can get back to camp. Okay guys, I made a rookie mistake in the Broncos. So we were clearing out this other tree. I was using the Bronco to use the kinetic rope and kind of move the tree out of the way. Well, the tree was a little stronger than the Bronco, ended up sliding into a ditch, and now we are in some super deep mud. And so Johnny's getting the 4Runner and we are going to have to pull the Bronco out, hopefully, and hopefully we can go to camp. I think I'm done off-roading for the day. You know, this is the first hiccup since I've started with the canyon. I haven't really been stuck yet. I just got a little too overconfident, thinking I could pull this second tree and slid right into the ditch. So, and it's starting to rain again, so hopefully we can hurry and get out of here and make it back to camp. Okay, so as I was saying, I pulled a rookie move, slid into the ditch trying to pull this tree. This is what I was stuck in. We were probably all the way up to the fender, to be honest. Actually, I need to check my tail light because we were backed into that. But the 4Runner pulled it out, no problem.
Heck yeah, it did.
I think the tail light is good.
Yeah. You even rub on the body? No?
No, I don't think so. I think it was just pushing on the tail light. So, yeah. Tires are caked. 4Runner pulled me out. We got one tree out of the way with the Bronco, but I think we're gonna give up on this one and probably go around a different route. It's gonna be longer, but we would have been back at camp if we just did that in the first place. So I will check back in with you guys when we get back to camp. All right, so we made it back. I can't do it now. Thanks a lot. No. All right, so we made it back to camp after the trail ride. I spent an hour getting the fire started. It's just now kind of picking up. Johnny made us some ground beef, shrimp, bacon, spicy sausage with a side of ground beef. No vegetables because we're men and we don't eat vegetables. So, but anyways, this is the camp spot where my first event is going to be held at. And if you check my website out, you'll see all the information. We just pre-ran the trail to make sure it's doable for everybody that's going. And the only thing that's really needed is 4-wheel drive, and if you have lockers, that'll come in handy. But this is it. It's nice out here. Hopefully in October it's a little cooler, but we'll see. But we'll check back in the morning when we wake up and we're headed home. So Johnny checked the weather and it's supposed to be raining pretty bad when we wake up in the morning, so we're gonna have everything packed up before we go to bed, and then I'm gonna go ahead and air up the tires. And I was about to say it shouldn't be done already. I'm gonna say it again. Check out the all-top air compressor and the deflators. I'm gonna link those down below. This air compressor, you just plug it in, set your destined PSI, and hit the button. And once it hits there, it'll shut off, and then you do the next tire. So check that out, and then I'll check back in once we crawl in for nighttime, sleep time, and then yeah. So see you guys in a minute. Night 2 was a success. It was a little cooler last night, so a little more comfortable in the Bronco. Yeah, definitely need a shower and clean up a bit, but had fun. Anyways, I'm about to head home, and I'll see you guys in the next video.